Welcome back to the Plus Side in Nashville. So what do Babe Ruth, Marilyn Monroe, Nelson Mandela, and Faith Hill all have in common? Well, they were all adopted. You know, deciding to adopt a child is one of the biggest decisions an individual or a couple can make. Joining me to discuss adoption and what it entails is Jan Clifton, who is the clinical manager for the Catholic Charities Adoption and Support and Preservation program, and Denise Cottrell, who's the adoption recruiter for Catholic Charities Foster to Adopt recruitment program. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
This is a big decision, and it's one that no one should go into lightly. I know most of the time when people come to you, they've given it some serious thought. Let's talk about the types of adoption services that you offer, and when folks come to you, well, how can you help them?
Well, Catholic Charities does offer quite an array of adoption services. We of course, have the traditional domestic adoption. So that is a family that's looking to adopt maybe an infant or a young child in the United States. Denise's program actually works with families that are looking to adopt a child maybe out of the state foster care system, so she'll speak to that. And then we also have international adoption. The other services that we offer are through the Adoption Support and Preservation Program, which is a program that is under a contract with the Tennessee Department of Children's Services, and we partner with the department to provide post-adoption services to families that have adopted children that were previously in the foster care system. So those services are across the state and offer quite a variety of different levels of service.
Well, Denise, I know there's so often we hear folks, oh, you know, we want to adopt a baby. But then there are those older children who, you know, they may never feel like they may never get a forever family. And there's a program that it's called Focus.
Yes.
That you really work to try to place some of these older children.
Yes, we do. Focus, as a recruiter, is my job to find loving families that are willing to adopt an older child through state custody. Typically, the average age is 13. More than likely, the children have maybe been in 9 placements. Oh. So you can imagine the trauma and neglect that they've gone through. And then on top of knowing that your parents have terminated their parental rights. So we really go in as a support to the families as far as assessing, engaging, and letting them know about the process, but also helping the children to understand what adoption means. A lot of times they're not sure what it means, so just explaining to them what it means. And that is our goal, to really walk families through the process from beginning to end, because it can be very scary. It's an unknown world, and I find that when you're able to engage families and give them an understanding of what it's like or what the big picture looks like, I think you have better families that are more prepared.
I think so too. And maybe these are families who never really thought about adopting an older child.
Exactly.
And then once you kind of explain to them how it all works, that you'll have a support system.
Exactly.
How much time and effort is put into putting the right child with the right family?
It can be a long process because we're looking for families that are going to be great for the child, meaning that they'll be able to help the child, to be able to help the child to heal. It can be a daunting process. So we prepare them to let them know that there are path training that you have to take. It's 8 weeks of parent preparation. And we're not saying you're not a good family, or maybe you've raised your biological children, but it's different when you're raising a child that is a ward of the state, knowing what they have gone through. And it can be a daunting process. And then going through the home study process, it can feel very intrusive because you're going to do background checks. You're going to want to know about their history, how they were raised. And so I try to let them know, if you can just remember that it's about the child and what they've gone through, and we just want to make sure that you are financially and prepared, not just financially, but emotionally and physically prepared to take on a child that's word of the state.
Yeah, and I guess that's the beauty of having your support group. Because I know once you've adopted that child, there's going to be issues probably and questions that you have. Talk a little bit about that support group, Jenny.
Yeah, and one of the things that we know is that it's a long journey for families. That just the process of a child being legally adopted doesn't really change, the emotional process for the child. I mean, it's the beginning of it, and it's needed, but they still have a lot of healing to do, and that can require just a lot of emotional energy on the part of the parents and the family system, and sometimes they find themselves really with not enough people around them to support them through this process. And so the support group really offers them an opportunity to be with other adoptive families that are experiencing similar challenges, to share some guidance and advice, and just to feel like they're not alone in the process. So the support groups are for the kids as well. So the kids come and they have a good time. We feed them dinner. They make friends, and the parents have the opportunity to be with a group that gets what they're experiencing.
That's such a great idea. I want to know more. We got to take a break. We'll be back with more to talk about adoption right after this.